Hi everyone, this is my first time going live. I am Jen Walker Wall from WorkWondersCoaching.com, and I have been wanting to use Facebook Live to talk to the people, talking to the people who've been liking my page and hanging out, and friends who might be online. And I want to talk about strategies for turning time into your ally instead of your enemy, because that's something that I see my clients struggle with all the time. And even though I tend to work primarily with job seekers who have trouble breaking up the job search into smaller tasks, really you need good time management skills to accomplish pretty much any goal, no matter who you are. So that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Again, I'm Jen. You can visit my website at www.workwonderscoaching.com, and I help people make meaningful career transitions and implement work-life strategies. And if you're listening, feel free to say hello. I'll be able to answer questions at the end. So some of the problems that I see people struggling with include not enough time or energy because of family and work commitments, too much unstructured time. So maybe they don't have family or a day job, but maybe they're students. Students struggle a lot with having unstructured time, not knowing how to use time. So I see a lot of job seekers who just like scroll through Indeed.com all day long, which is really not a super good way to use your time if you're looking for a new job. And then there's people who are feeling really rushed, so they're trying to kind of remove themselves from their circumstance. So that might be, they don't like their job and they're trying to get out as quickly as possible. And so they're missing key steps in the process that could make things easier for them. And while clients don't tell me that they have unrealistic expectations, I often see that they have unrealistic expectations around what anyone could reasonably accomplish, in a period of time in a given context. So I really just wanted to talk about how to use time in a way that doesn't involve all of this pressure. And I'm really going to try and provide this content in about 10 minutes, so hopefully it won't take too much of your time. So the first thing I want to talk about is that it's important to be really clear on your priorities and your values for both the short term and the long term. And so what I mean by that is you won't be able to do all the things that you want to do at once. And so spreading yourself too thin isn't effective, and having tunnel vision won't make you happy in the long run. So it's really important that you sit down and say, like, what do I want to do in the next 3 months, 6 months, the next year, those sorts of things. So make sure that you have a plan for your values. Essentially, you want to make sure that you're aware that all your goals can't necessarily be pursued at the same time. Oh, hi Jen, I can see that you're here. I think if you guys comment, there's about an 18-second delay, just so you know. So it's pretty significant, but if you have comments or questions, or you want to say hi and let me know you're here, that's fine too. But thank you for being here, all of you. The second thing that's really important is to adjust your expectations. So this is about giving yourself permission to take small steps. And all the people I work with, and I'm sure you, if you're watching this, you want to make big progress and you want to make it right away. So being anxious to kind of get started and do things can really work against you because, hi Jen, it's hard to sort of set aside large amounts of time or have a lot of energy to focus on things at once. So I want you to adjust your expectations, not just about what you can accomplish, but like what you can really accomplish in the context of your life as it is right now. So if you are working a full-time job and looking for a new job, if you are a parent, if you're a student, if you're all of those things, that's in a really important context and you need to give yourself credit for that. I see that there's more people joining, so I just wanted to remind people I'm talking about strategies for turning time into your ally, and implementing some time management strategies. So it's really important to adjust your expectations so that you don't feel like you're failing. I would rather that my clients be successful in very small tasks that are repeated over time than have one really great day or think that they're going to have one big day where they get a lot of work done and then it just kind of doesn't end up happening, or they don't produce as much work as they want because they had a really long week at work or something like that. So adjusting your expectations is really important, and I always say cut them in half and cut them in half again. And 15 minutes a day on something that you're not making any progress on realistically but has been lingering in your mind that adds up over time. And what it adds up over time, time turns into your friend. Time is working with you instead of against you. So those are the sorts of things that I like to do. My third strategy is to practice setting boundaries. And I know that this is something that people really struggle with, but once you're really clear on your priorities, then you can start communicating them to the people in your life so that you can say, like, you know, I can't spend every night going out to the bars. I have to go home. Hi, Ann Charlotte. You know, and paying attention to my job search and looking for the right jobs and doing some networking. So it's not just important to have boundaries, but it's important to communicate them to the people around you so that they can support you in your endeavors. And then my fourth tip is something I've been mentioning all along, which is to create a plan that relies on time. So to give yourself 1 month, 3 months, 6 month plans and check-ins and assessments along the way so you can see, am I setting realistic goals? So I have clients, I had a client email me today and she said, my goal is to have a new job by the holidays. That's great. That gives us several months to work with. You know, we might get to the end of October and maybe she'll be feeling, oh, there she is. You know, maybe she'll want to readjust or maybe she'll have a job offer, but that gives you some time to work with. You know, you can work backwards from a plan. I have some people who want to work with me and they're like, I want a job by the end of the month. And it's like, well, that might happen for you. And I hope that that happens. But it's pretty unrealistic that people go from not applying to any jobs to getting a job offer in 30 days. Unfortunately, that's just not usually how it works. So one thing that you can do to prepare for a plan is to take all the things that you want to do, the things that you probably think you can do much more quickly than you can, and to brainstorm those tasks and then to spread them out over 1 month, 3 month, 6 month intervals so that you take your to-do list and you make it realistic and you make it actionable. So you don't need to do everything at once. You might need to repeat things to, you know, for maximum efficiency until they work, but you can use time in that way. So the way that creating a plan uses time instead of working against time is that you rely on consistency rather than speed or pressure. Some people feel like they work really well under pressure, but most people who have like really busy lives feel like they'd rather do small things. Small things are more realistic. So people who are sending out 1 or 2 resumes a month even are much more likely to get a job interview than people who keep putting off editing a resume. So break things down into 20-minute intervals if you have to. 15, 20 minutes over time totally adds up. And then you can spread them out over several months. And if you're feeling like you should be doing more, go back to that piece where you're taking into account the context of your life. You know, my clients are burned out at work, and burned out people at work, it can really take a long time for them to, you know, to make time to do creative things. It can be hard to focus on a job search and stuff like that. So make sure you're giving yourself credit for all of the stuff that you are already doing. And I've got my eye on the clock. So I did this in 9 minutes, just under my 10-minute mark. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but if you are watching the replay or if you have any questions, you can add them right into the comments. There's an 18-second delay, so it's possible that I'll get off and I'll have missed it. But feel free to leave comments and let me know if you have questions. And I hope that you'll come back and watch another Facebook Live soon. All right, thanks guys. Have a good night.